Hey there, it's Dave Altavilla for HotHardware.com here with the HTC Arrive. It is the first Windows Phone 7 handset available on Sprint's CDMA network. It sports a 3.6-inch capacitive touch high-resolution display with a native resolution of 480 by 800 pixels, and it weighs in at about 6.5 ounces. Talk time on the handset is stated to be about 6 hours. And it also features a nice slide-out keyboard. And by the way, this is a light-sensitive keyboard that will illuminate backlight at night or low-light situations. But the keyboard's actually really nice, very tactile and easy to type on for you folks that simply must have buttons and can't deal with typing on screen. Now, the Arrive sports a 1 GHz Qualcomm single-core processor with 16 GB of internal memory, and it also has built-in 802.11b and Wi-Fi and FM radio, GPS, and positional sensing. So all the traditional features in most high-end smartphones. Over here on this edge of the device, you've got a USB sync / charging port. You've got a volume rocker. Up the top, you've got traditional headphone jack and power button. And on this edge, you've got a sole button for activating the camera, which, by the way, is a 5-megapixel camera with flash, and it also shoots 720p HD video. Now, the Arrive's display is pretty nice. It's actually got good brightness and contrast and color reproduction. Viewing angles aren't the best, and there's certainly a little bit of glare you can see, but responsiveness to pinch and zoom with a Windows Phone 7 device is quite impressive, as you can see here. Very snappy, immediate actually, and very much like the experience you'd get on an iOS device. And of course, you can rotate the phone and it will adjust to landscape mode or vertical portrait mode as well on the fly. Now, the Windows Phone 7 operating system is a very capable handset OS. If you haven't seen it before, it's actually quite impressive. It's a very clean, simple, tiled approach to various different applications in the handset. And as you can see, it's very responsive and smooth in terms of how it responds to swipes and gestures. So really slick, really simple, really smooth, clean response from the handset. And as you can see, there's some standard apps that come installed. You get things like an alarm clock, a calculator, a calendar, of course the camera app. And then you also get a games app that connects you with Xbox Live. And you can actually play some games in the handset. We'll show that in a little bit. And you can also see which games your friends are playing online on the Xbox Live network. So that's kind of nice. You can see who's online real time. And of course, there are other standard apps as well. A messaging app, email, the browser, People app for your social networks. You plug in your Windows Live ID and you can chat with friends, you can see what their status is, and all kinds of different social media functions built into the People application. And HTC has something called HTC Hub, which kind of brings back the feel of the HTC Sense interface, if you will, and you can see they've got some featured apps, the date, the time, the weather, animating in very much again like that HTC Sense UI that we're familiar with from Android handsets. Now, the Windows Phone 7 stocks application is kind of nice. You can check in on all your important stocks and it's real-time updated over the network. It's really kind of slick. And as you can see, HTC is doing pretty well right now, up about 5% for the day. And here's a quick look at the Arrive's camera application. You've got a couple of different settings you can work with here. You've got zoom, and you've got a mode button up here to switch from still to video mode. We're in still mode now. You've got a settings button here that takes you to different scenes and effects that you can apply. Here we've got portrait, landscape, sports, beach. You've got backlight, candlelight, so all different types of scenes you might be working with. You've got effects, things like grayscale, negative, sepia, solarize. You can see the images changing back there. And you've got different resolutions you can choose from, 5 megapixel, 3 megapixel, 2 megapixel, and down. So lots of different features in the camera application. And finally, here's a little gaming demo on the Arrive. We're running Need for Speed here. And as you can see, responsiveness is pretty good with the onboard gyro and accelerometer, and driving one-handed is definitely not something to do. This is a quick look at the HTC Arrive for Sprint with Windows Phone 7 I'm Dave Altavilla for Hot Hardware. Stop by our site for the full review. Thanks for stopping by.